কাঁচা পোড়া কপাল তিন মর তামার মাতাল বটে সপি গেল যে 5 বিঘে জমি ছিল সপি গেল যে বাটি ঘটি সপি গেল চল্লু বাটিতে।
In India, tackling rural poverty remains a challenge. Various schemes and programs launched towards rural poverty alleviation have not been able to provide long-term sustainable solutions to the rural households to come out of poverty. Problem lies in the fact that poverty is multidimensional and one-time assistance through government schemes to a poor family does not ensure that the family comes out of poverty. Successful poverty alleviation interventions on a significant scale have demonstrated that the poor need to be organized and supported through their own sensitive support structures over a sufficiently long duration of 7 to 8 years to bring them out of poverty and sustain the poor families above poverty. National Rural Livelihoods Mission Ajivika, launched in 2011 by Government of India, has begun a new chapter in India's fight against rural poverty. Ajivika is distinctly different in its approach to poverty eradication. It envisages a prime role for the women in bringing her household out of poverty, recognizes multidimensional nature of poverty and plans for multiple interventions, has universal coverage. All rural poor households to be covered, one member from each family, is implemented by the poor themselves, envisages a new relationship between government and rural poor. Government is not a giver or implementer, but a facilitator and partner. Ajivika believes that poor have innate capabilities, and unless the potential of poor is unleashed, it is not possible to bring poor families out of poverty. Ajivika is bringing these women together so that they create their own SHGs and their federations. Through this process, Ajivika is providing a platform for collective action based on self-help and mutual cooperation.
12 दीदी मिल करके हम लोग एक समूह बना लिए, 10 रुपये बचत करते हैं, 10 रुपये बचत कर करके अब 12 दीदी मिल करके हम लोग निर्णय लेते हैं.
The focus of the mission is to organize, facilitate and build capacities of the poor, showing the path to capital and creating an enabling structure of their own which is sensitive to their needs. Ajivika facilitates poor to realize their potential by creating opportunities through their organizations. Ajivika is essentially a social movement for the poor women by the women. It aims to create a social space where women emerge as leaders and decision makers and take control of their lives.
जो जोश खरोश और जो जज्बा उन औरतों में है, और फिर जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग वो दिखाती हैं सोशल इश्यूज़ पर, और इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से मुतल्लिक जो उनको पूरा फहम है, पूरा सोच है कि उनने किस तरह इसको एसिमुलेट किया है सारे प्रोसेस को, तो वो देखने के लायक है. तो ये आदमी को कभी अंदाज़ा नहीं होता है कि इन औरतों में इतना पोटेंशियल है, इतनी क़ुव्वत है इनमें. तो ये क़ुव्वत तभी इनमें आ गई जब हमने इनको एक प्लेटफार्म मुहैया कर दिया, सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप का प्लेटफार्म.
Ajivika acknowledges the fact that poor on their own do not organize themselves and social mobilization has to be induced. The program has evolved a social capital-led phased implementation approach, that is, resource block strategy. As part of this strategy, implementation starts in 10% select resource blocks in any state. Resource blocks are those in which the community resource persons, that is, women who have successfully come out of poverty through their SHGs, induce social mobilization by sharing their experiences with the poor.
నాకు అప్పుడు సంఘాలలో జయించగలిగినందుకే నేను ఈ సంఘాలలో వచ్చి నా లెక్కటి పేదవాళ్ళు కూడా ఇక్కడ ఉండకూడదు, పేదరికాన్ని దాటాలా, నేను పేదరికాన్ని జయించాను, వీళ్ళు కూడా పేదరికాన్ని జయించాలని నేను వీళ్ళకి స్టేట్ సిఆర్పిగా వచ్చి సంఘాలుగా చేయనికి వచ్చాను.
As part of the resource block strategy, it is only the best practitioners in SHGs who become teachers or trainers. Under Ajivika, poor demonstrate their ability to handle their finances and creditworthiness as a group. The groups adhere to the Panch Sutra, or the 5 cardinal principles of running an SHG are weekly meetings, weekly savings, internal lending, regular repayments, and healthy bookkeeping. The program also provides revolving fund to meet the credit needs of the members.
आरएफ एक चक्रीय निधि है जो 3 महीना पुराने समूह है उनको दिया जाता है जो 5 सूत्र का पालन भी करता हो.
The mission also provides for Community Investment Fund as a resource in perpetuity to capitalize the institutions of the poor.
सीआईएफ का उद्देश्य है कि जो हम लोग का आरएफ और अनिवार्य बचत से हम लोग को बड़ी ज़रूरतें पूरी नहीं होती है, जैसे कि हम लोग को कुछ बकरी पालन, मुर्गी पालन, खेती बाड़ी या कुछ भी अपना बड़ा कार्य करने का आजीविका बढ़ाने के लिए हम लोग को सीआईएफ दिया जाता है.
Any SHG that has successfully demonstrated its creditworthiness gets linked to institutional finance and would remain to have continuous credit access. Facilitating the SHGs to access all potential sources of funds and to support and guide them to utilize the funds efficiently to improve, diversify and sustain their livelihoods is the critical role that Nrlm plays. When SHGs are well acquainted with operation of their own funds, they are exposed to banks for a higher level of credit. Village organizations provide the poor a platform for collective action at the village level. These federations increase their voice, space and bargaining power in favor of its members. Village organizations regularly monitor and build capacities of member SHGs. These institutions of poor have emerged as a platform for convergence and optimization of all anti-poverty programs. Ajivika has put in place a dedicated team at national, state, district and block level. The team provides continuous technical support like creating of forward and backward linkages to facilitate SHGs and their federations to effectively support their members. Every state has a dedicated mission to roll out Ajivika in the state. The state missions develop their state-specific implementation plan to cover all rural poor households with the help of internal social capital.
We have learned that community-to-community learning is more effective than the archaic way of staff taking the lead in this SHG movement. So we have generated our own social capital. We call them our own active women or Sakriya Mahilayen. And now they have come to such a stage that we are more confident that they will be sent to the other blocks and they will be forming SHGs.
Each resource block produces local community heroes for 20 blocks in 5 years. And after 2.5 years itself, 5 new blocks get seeded.
We have adopted the resource block strategy. Under this strategy, we started initially with 7 blocks. We have developed these blocks as a resource block. Each resource block will subsequently be able to support 6 additional new blocks. We are now in a position where we can scale up to additional 30 blocks. And by the end of 2018, we are hopeful that we will be able to cover all the blocks in the state.
Ajivika has begun empowerment of the poor. Financial empowerment of the poor women is leading to the empowerment of the society.
సంఘంలో చేరకముందు నేను చాలా పేదరాలిని. నేను సంఘంలో చేరిన తర్వాత నెలకు 30 రూపాయలు పొదుపు చేసుకొని నేను ఫస్ట్ తొలిత అప్పు 500 తీసుకున్నాను. 500 తీసుకుని నా కుమారుని ఆరోగ్యం కోసం ఖర్చు పెట్టినాను. హాస్పిటల్కి తీసుకెళ్ళి ఆరోగ్యం కోసం ఖర్చు పెట్టినాను. 500 వాపస్ చేసినాను. తర్వాత నేను 6000 లోన్ తీసుకొని 6000తో నేను కిరాణం షాప్ చిన్నగా ఓపెన్ చేసుకున్నాను. మూడోసారి అప్పు తీసుకున్నాను. 60000 తీసుకున్నాను. దాంట్లో నుంచి నేను 2 కాయిన్ బాక్సులు పెట్టుకున్నాను. ఒక ల్యాండ్ ఫోన్ పెట్టుకున్నాను. దాంట్లోనే గాజుల వ్యాపారం చేస్తున్నాను. మిగతాది షాప్ని ఇంకా అభివృద్ధి చేసుకున్నాను. తర్వాత నా కూతురుకు బిఎస్ నర్సింగ్ సీట్ వచ్చింది. ఫీజు కోసం 1,00,000 రూపాయలు అప్పు తీసుకున్నాను. తర్వాత 1,50,000 రూపాయలు తీసుకొని నా ఇల్లు పూర్తి చేసుకున్నాను. దీనికి అంతటికీ కారణము మా సంఘంలో పంచసూత్రాలు పాటించినాము, ఆత్మవిశ్వాసాన్ని పెంచుకున్నాము, విజయాన్ని సాధించినాం.
Women like Rajeshwari have come out of poverty. The sensitive support of her SHG enabled her to access multiple dosage of credit whenever required over a period of 8 to 10 years. Our Jivika envisages to create such an enabling environment for each and every rural poor household and bring them under SHG fold. It aims to ensure that all the SHGs have access to capital and majority of the households have multiple livelihoods. Since women are the fulcrum of every family, a substantial rise in the household income means all-round development of the family, thus replacing the vicious cycle of poverty with virtuous cycle of poverty. Ajivika and poor women share a dream. The dream to be able to dream and lead a life of dignity.